Caesar threw a spear straight through the roof of a police car because this officer had just captured one of his companions. But Caesar did not want to kill anyone. He only had one goal: to rescue his own kind. When the officer saw this, he immediately drove away in fear. And what Caesar wanted to do today was free every imprisoned ape, then lead them back to a place that truly belonged to them. Because in the human world, these apes had always been abused and had never received real respect. Caesar first led the others out of the primate shelter. Then they broke into Gen Sis and rescued the apes being used for experiments. Finally, they entered the zoo and released even more imprisoned apes. In a very short time, an army of hundreds of apes had gathered together. Caesar led them through the city. The sudden appearance of so many apes immediately threw humans into panic, but Caesar never planned to hurt ordinary people. They only wanted to leave the city and return to a place that belonged to apes. But once they came into direct conflict with humans, things would no longer be that simple. Their journey home was never going to be easy. Before long, more and more police cars arrived, completely blocking the apes' path. Caesar had no other choice and could only lead the others into battle. Morris lifted a manhole cover and threw it straight at a police car. The massive impact instantly caused the vehicle to lose control. The other apes immediately followed and quickly cleared the obstacles in front of them. Caesar only wanted to take every ape home, but as long as someone stood in their way, the group had no choice but to keep breaking through. Before long, Caesar finally reached the Golden Gate Bridge. This was the only route they could take home, but by then the entire bridge was already completely jammed with traffic. Caesar still had no idea that the humans had already blocked the bridge and prepared to stop the apes from crossing. As the group continued forward, Caesar suddenly noticed a large number of police officers hiding ahead. He immediately raised his hand and stopped all the apes. But when Caesar turned around, he discovered a mounted police unit had already blocked the rear. The entire ape army was instantly trapped from both sides. Caesar immediately changed tactics. He first ordered Koba to lead a group of apes beneath the bridge. Then he told Maurice to lead another group and find a different route, while Caesar himself stayed on the bridge with the main force. Just like that, the entire ape army split into 3 groups, preparing to break through from different directions. At the same time, Will also reached the Golden Gate Bridge. He immediately realized that the police were preparing to attack the apes. Knowing Caesar could be in danger, Will tried to rush forward and stop them, but the area ahead was already blocked by police, and no one was allowed through to help Will get inside. Caroline deliberately distracted the officers, while Will slipped across the police line. Meanwhile, the mounted police from behind had already charged toward the apes. When Caesar saw his companions being attacked, he instantly became furious and charged straight at the officers on horseback. Buck beside him also became completely enraged. He faced the charging horses and stood directly in their path. The officers did not stop and kept striking Buck hard across the head with their batons. Buck became completely furious and raised his arm to fight back, but Caesar immediately stopped him because Caesar had already made it clear this battle was not about killing humans. They only wanted their freedom. But at that moment, police air support also arrived. The officers inside the helicopter spotted the apes climbing across the bridge and immediately opened fire. One of the apes fell straight from the bridge. When Maurice saw his companion get killed, he became even more furious and immediately led the other apes forward at a faster pace. Luckily, thick fog covered the bridge and the helicopter could not clearly see where the other apes were. The fog became their best protection. Soon, the apes were getting closer and closer to the police line ahead. The roars coming from the distance also began making the officers nervous. When Caesar saw they were close enough, he immediately gave the order. Several powerful apes rushed toward a large bus. They pushed the bus together, using the entire vehicle as moving cover, and slowly advanced toward the police. When the officers saw this, they immediately raised their guns. The bus scraped across the road, sending sparks everywhere and moving closer to the police line. The officers finally opened fire. A storm of bullets kept hitting the bus until the entire roof was almost full of holes. Only then did the bus slowly stop. But before the officers could relax, a horse suddenly appeared in the distance, running toward them at full speed, and riding on its back was Caesar. Caesar let out a furious roar, and the apes hidden above the bridge immediately charged out together, launching a surprise attack from above. Faced with the sudden assault, the police instantly lost control. At the same time, the apes moving beneath the bridge had also reached the battlefield. They charged in from behind and completely disrupted the police formation. Rocket skillfully dodged the gunfire, moved through the parked police cars, and tackled an officer to the ground. Even though Rocket also hated humans, he still remembered that Caesar did not allow random killing. Under Caesar's command, more and more apes rushed into the fight. The police quickly lost their advantage, and the entire defensive line began collapsing. Buck also rushed toward a police car and pulled an officer straight out. As the apes kept breaking through the line, the remaining officers began retreating one after another. When Rocket saw the humans finally pulling back, he started celebrating wildly, because this was also the first time the apes had truly used their own strength to defeat humans in a direct fight. But at that moment, Will came running from behind. When he saw the chaotic battlefield, he immediately shouted Caesar's name. Caesar also noticed Will, but before the two could speak, a loud roar suddenly came from below the bridge. A helicopter was slowly rising right in front of them.